Ahoy there, matey. We're gonna build ourselves a shipwreck, like the one you see before you. I'm going to show you fundamental building blocks and the process that I went to make this ship happen. You can apply this to make just about any kind of ship shape you desire, for whatever purpose you are building it. For me, this is a set piece in a bigger story that I will tell in a different video, but I will touch upon principles that I use to guide the viewer, the player, along a certain path and highlight certain details and make light and shadow work for my advantage when it comes to creating ambience, atmosphere, all that good stuff. But first we need to build a set, won't we? So we're gonna start with two guiding pieces. The first one is, if you look at the ship here, and imagine cutting right down in the middle where it's at its widest, kind of like cutting an apple in two. You get two halves and you can see the outline of the half. Gonna create that outline of the boat. Then once we have that, we know how wide it is at its widest. Then we need to decide how long it is and how that shape is to look. And we do that by imagine looking straight from above down to it, informed already by the width that we created using the shape when we cut through the entire ship. Once we have those two pieces in place, we can fairly easily construct a skeleton of the whole ship. What I did was I used large pillar timber. I used the vertical, horizontal, and the three angled ones. For the smaller pieces, the walls and so forth, I used regular timber, same three angled pieces, and where is it? Where is it? There it is. Horizontal and the vertical. Other than that, I use some not logs but planks, and I also use some triangular planks to make interesting holes in the walls, so on. But you can do that simply by not filling in the walls. Let's take a quick look. So here's we come towards the only readily available entrance of the ship, and it takes us straight into the tavern part, because this is a tavern of sorts. I filled in the walls behind so that we get a clear, uncluttered view of the details I want. That tells you that this is definitely a tavern. And here's Black Axel, and he's preparing whatever next meal. If you would take a quick look at the boxes and the barrels serving as makeshift tables, and the sorry state of things, you realize they had to make do with what they had, right? And they probably have pillaged and used bits and pieces of this ship to keep themselves warm as well. Here's the inner part. It is not much. It's not supposed to be much either. Up top here, if you look down, you can see straight down to the lower deck, and through that grating the water below the entire ship as well. Alright, and lastly, the most intact part of the ship is not very intact. It is the captain's cabin, the rear of the ship, and on top you have a little place for fishing and you don't have anything else to do. And here, of course, is where the steering wheel was, that, if you noticed, serves as a chandelier in the tavern now. Here is the cabin that Black Axel is now residing in, not cooking up a storm below. And the details I placed here and holes everywhere is intentional, to tell the story of someone who doesn't know carpentry, of course, and someone who has to make do, survive with what they have available, and time withering your efforts away. Here you see it more clearly. All kinds of materials have been used, trying to stave off the sometimes cold and wet breeze from the ocean coming in, splash over the poor tenants in the inn. Well, Axel, I don't need to badmouth you. You're doing a great job. Seriously. Seriously. I mean it. Seriously. Alright, anyway. Let's get going. Let's build this thing. First of all, though, before I forget to mention that, to have Black Axel walking around here, well, you need a cooking fire, and then you need to hire him and assign him here, of course. And in order to do that, you need a bonfire. Place the bonfire here at the rear of the set. I made it good enough to look at to tell the story, but this is not really the main vantage point that I desire people to look at. And I also want control light sources. I needed kind of to hide the bonfire, but it also serves a purpose. It backlights the holes in the wall to really show off the sorry sad state of the establishment. But yeah, no, I wasn't. I was really not saying anything bad about this wonderful establishment. The beached whale, was it? Stranded whale? I forget. Anyway, we better get to it and start building. Outlines first. And we are using timber, large pillars for this. And we're doing 15 degrees angles. Check it out. 15 degrees. And we can use high and low vantage points while doing it. I'm doing the high one right now. So we're starting with the keel. And then we have these three lovelies as angles. So we're gonna start with the widest one at 26 angle. Go straight out on both sides. Like so. Turn it around. Great. So. Alright. From there, we are going to angle up using 45 degrees. Straight. And straight. This is a symmetrical build. So keep that in mind. From here, we have the 64 angle, and we're going to do 2 of those on both sides. Check the angles, get everything correct, aligned. It's very easy to make mistakes here, and it's very cheap to correct them at this stage, very costly later. So get the outlines right, and that looks so funny. Camera angles sometimes really mess. But alright, from here we're basically here. Right? Got 164 here, another 64 here. These two. Right? Then we go 2 straight up. Well, let's take care of that. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. And this is the hull. Up here is upper deck. And wide is widest point. And here, in between these two, is the lower deck. Eight wide at its widest part. Then, I mean, these are the accessible parts. Yeah. And of course, you have the with some weathered pillars of the railing, right? Just to remind us where we're at. There we go. Then we have the surface level of your environment, water and land. And where is that? It might vary. You might be on a slant. What you really want to do is make sure you've got at least part of the lower deck accessible for you. Otherwise, well, poor Black Axle won't have much to walk on. Nor will you. So exactly where, that depends. It looks like about halfway along this one was where my average surface level is at. Doesn't matter at all, but another reason to keep the lower deck above is that you can make these cooler, right? Water beneath. But it's all up to you what you're going after. So, right, here's the outline as if we cut through the ship right here. At its widest. Now we have to consider the length of the boat and the shape as if we were looking straight from above, straight down at the top deck. We know it's 10 wide at its widest. So let's measure that out here. Give ourselves some support pillar down here. Okay. Here. So I said 10. Great. And this is the widest. Okay. It must not go past the width. At least if we're gonna stick to it. And you might have a location that doesn't really allow for more. Who knows? But we are going to stick to this. So what are we doing from here? Well, let's say this is our lower deck. Well, actually, this level is at the lower deck, right? But this width is the upper deck. The lower deck is more narrow. So how do we figure this one out? Well, let's measure how far up the upper deck is to the lower deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Alright, 4. So we know this width is actually 4 up. Like so. Okay, cool. So we can make the upper deck then. And of course it's still 10 wide because it's straight up. However, the lower deck was 8. How did it become 8? Well, look at this. The outline is 2 straight down and then one of these probably in. So we mimic this. Great, of course. There we go. Great. So 1, 2, and this one. Do the same here. 1, 2, and this one. Cool. Alright, then what happened? Let's check the outline. We just did this one, the lower deck, and then a similar one beneath. Okay, alright, let's add that then. Boom. Deck angles. Boom. Okie doke. Now we can remove the outline that is not so. Okay. That's a start. Now we have to decide the shape of ship when it comes to length. This was the widest. Would it be like this one? Well, maybe, maybe not. Let's start out with, say, it is a big old fat whale stranded. Right? So we go straight. Or we go straight. Let's go 8, both directions. And here is where you can decide for yourself your own shape. I'm just doing one shape here. Just be symmetrical. That's all. And by that I mean similar, same on both sides. Alright. Yeah, that looks bad enough. So from here I want to go in one angle, a 15 degree. In, there we go. Maybe 8 here as well. And of course I have to do the same from here, 15 degrees in. There we go. All right. And I said symmetrical, so 15 degrees in here as well. You might want a different shape. I'm going for an oval shape. Okay. Right. Let's see how wide it is now. I want to go in further. Who knows? Okay. This is where we try it out. It is 6 wide at its most narrow and 10 wide at its widest. Yeah, I think there. Yeah, and 6 here as well because it's symmetrical. So there we have that. Lovely. Now, we need to fill out the rest of the skeleton. How do we do this? Different ways. More or less correct. I say good enough is good enough, and let's give it some support. It needs to look. That's where I'm at. You know, selling the story. So we know the outline is working from the top to the bottom. You know, it goes 2 straight down. One of the. So let's start making that outline wherever angles change, okay, and see where we get. So now we work from top deck to the bottom of where things no longer visible under the surface. And here, when I say straight, I mean similar as this first beam, the widest part of the ship, every other is aligned according to this. All right, not necessarily straight according to this all the time. You might decide that you really want that, and go ahead, do that. You will have other issues to contend with if you do. If you look here, I mean, you could say it's way more correct to do it like hard time showing you what I mean. Like here, you see this beam is not angled like after this. This would be straight along this beam, but I chose to ignore that bit for the convenience and keep it straight according to this initial straight beam. It's a trade-off. You do as you please, and you solve the problem as you go along. So, we're gonna keep it straight according to. And it was, get it? If we can get, come on, then we get it. Oh, it almost snapped. Wow, it's being really, we can always go from the top then. Hey, 1, 2. If it doesn't want to, way to trick it. Here we go. Check that it's correct. Okay, cool. And we need another one, of course, because the bottom deck is right here. And we go further down, and the next one was the 45 degrees, I believe. So there we go. Rinse and repeat. So the next is the most narrow. We go 2 straight down again. And he might not want to play with us. And we knew the trick from the top and down. Come on, stay with us. Stay with us. Yeah, there we go. He really wants to align straight angles. Oh. Sometimes we have to give it some extra support to our bidding. Alright, here we barely need 45. Still gonna give it. You know? Let's continue to do the same here. Remember? Oh, this one played nice straight away. That's good. 2 down. Take the 64 angle. 2 of those. Great. We fill in the last with a 45. And again, if you are over water, you might fill in more than the 45. And you go back to your guide, outline guide, and see, okay, what happens after the 45? Oh, okay, it's the 26 degree after that. And after that is the keel. Alright. So we continue our work. We all play nice. Almost did for a hot second there. Almost. Oh. Do it, mate. Hold on. Right angle, is it? Let's make very, very sure we have the right angle here. It should be aligned with this guy. I think it is. Okay. Alright, my bad. Oh, better double check. I'm sorry. Two down. And 5. Great. Lower deck between the two. Now we do the same here. Of course, on the other side of things. Two down. Well, let's check that we have the same angle as we do. Two down. That's all we see here. Now we can go across. And they will meet at 4. We're 6 widest on the top deck for, most narrow on the top deck is 6. Most narrow bottom deck is 4. Things will not always align this perfectly. It's okay. Depends on your outline, of course. But we will solve the problem as the era. And we made it fairly easy for us, keeping it aligned straight there. Okay. These as well, of course. This point was fairly quick. Got it figured out. Mark the bottom deck. Play around. Alright, so now we got that bit. You can choose to add more, of course, if you want, like in the middle of each, or whatever. That's all up to you. I did add a couple more. That as an aesthetic thing. It's all up to you. Let's add a couple just to show an example of these. But it is the same. Simple. Come on, be simple. Please. Please be simple. Okay, and it's the same deal. Follow the outline rule from the top deck to the bottom. Two down. Oops. You said. A little room for 45 degree here. Or not. Definitely if you are above water, and you should. And of course you go across. And it's like begging for more here, right? Can I have one in the middle? There isn't really a middle here. the same way. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ish. Ish here. Let's try it. Okay. Ish. Yeah, it's good enough. It's good enough. Let's do it. Rock and roll. Always check angles. Right. Do it here as well then. What? Do it. And little bit of angle check. Right. Okay. Alright. I purposefully simply ignored some of the 45 degrees. From here we have the horizontal scaffolding to do. And we simply use the same angles as outline. And that is straight and 15 degrees in. Follow it accordingly. We start with this is the bottom deck, and now I'm in trouble. Run on the outside. And here's where it angles in, so let's do the easy bits first. Great. So now what do we do? Well, 15 degrees in. Look how that turned out, huh? 15 degrees in. And here, of course. The opposite 15 degrees. Okay. There we go. Obviously, I want more scaffold. I'll put one in clean. Straight first. Oh. The easy bits, and then 15 degrees in. And it fixed it. And across here, straight. Turn out to be 6. Alright. Pause. Degrees again. We have them. This is straight. 15 degrees out. Alright. And now we go straight. Okay, I forgot. We go 15 degrees in. There we go. I just kept going. And here we go straight. In degrees, was it? All right. Now we're cooking. Good looking. Pretty similar to that one, yeah. So, time to decide where is the open. Where do you want to enter? It could be like a plank or some stairs all the way up from the top, and then from the top you have a staircase to the whole bottom. But me, I just want a hole to go through on the side. Depends on what kind of ship you have or shipwreck, and what's the purpose of it, and from what vantage point you want the visitors to approach the set that you're building. To consider these things. As for me, I guess I will simply remove this bit and call this opening. Now, you could start out using these large doors, logs or planks. At least bits of it. It also depends on how much of a wreck. But this straight part is, well, fairly straightforward. Of course, here you might want those lovely gratings happen. I'll show you how to make those. Let's fill in a little bit more first. So all right. Yeah, let's yes. So to do those, I use timber beam, not the large, but the beam. I do an outline. Now I'm gonna do a very big grating, but I continue across using the large beam edges as support for this. And now we need to go across, straight across. I use existing bits as support for that. Of course, the grating is way too big. So now I need to place something in between. And you can do that two ways. You can try to do snapping off, and aim it, or you could go one straight out, 30 degrees angle-ish is close enough, valid. Like so. And then you just go straight. And of course, it works the same way here. Go straight out. And if you have 15, then you snap twice. 30. I didn't give myself, yes, full support here. Right. Oh. Support. And then I go straight. It's not perfect, absolutely not, but Close enough is close enough. And then I simply remove these guys. And you have some overlaps. Try yourself. Over those, forget about it. And the election. Have some light in here. Now we can say we're in here. Okay, cool. We have beams across, of course, up top as well, and more decks to fill in. And like I said, the stairs up top. If we take a look at how I solved this in the build, I took mahogany stairs, most steep ones, two of them, and went straight up. And I did that not at the center. Here's the center. There's another thing we need to do to figure out where the main mast is, if you want that one still around. So I took the stairs a bit behind the main mast, and the reason for that was to support the main scene here. We come in, we want to see the bar, you know, of the tavern part of this wreck, and look left, see the inn part, right to see the storage part, and this is the part that cover up, so our view is not cluttered with anything but what we use, and background noise that bit on the side, so it becomes a support our scene rather than a hindrance. Yeah, we did the basics. Now we need to start thinking really about how to guide the attention of the observer. Is it right? But like I did there, I could choose to do something similar here. I could extend this further, of course, to have two, or I could use this as, yeah, I'm gonna have the stairs here, and it was the Cognitive stairs, and it is the 45 degrees, not that we need. And I chose not to have them all the way. Well, we could try, you know. This might be okay. Might be okay to be this snug. Means we can't go around it in the bottom floor, but we can still go around it at the top. Let's start out where it's easy, straight. And we're gonna use beams. I'm gonna use regular beams, so the angle is correct. And what I do here is I want the outer hull of cover beams, at least where they're at. So something like that would barely cover it. Then I do snapping off. And then I continue. Like that. And I keep an eye on this angle, and the angle that is created by corners, beams, and I'm trying to have them on as well here, as best I can. And don't worry, you only have to do free-floating stacks. Because once you're done, you can turn snapping back on. Yeah. That's one tricky. Might have to go on the outside for that one. Angles and all. Get an opportunity to look at it. How it will present itself. Alright, that's close enough. I'm fairly okay. Now then, what do we do? But now we turn snapping on. And freeze. Okay, these. And you go, yeah, but what about when you get to an angle? Be able to get the, there we go. Continue. And then you know 15 degrees. Oh. You get here. Oh, it's straight. Gotta find it. That might be tricky. You might not align. You might have to do a second stack here. But for the most part, it's simply a matter of letting the initial one, initial stack guide you. And if you look then at what I did, once you have filled in enough, you might want to fill in everything. And if you do, enjoy cutting down a couple. But a wreck, it needs to have holes, right? Subtle gaps like this, or big old gaping holes like this, or it could have irregular holes like this, and you could use, especially in this straight section of the lower hull, you can use your storytelling advantage. You can use triangles of planks of all kinds of lovely shapes, not just the regular 45 degrees, but 26 degrees and 64 degrees and big old 13 degrees. That's a massive thing. So you can make all kinds of shapes, and of course different kinds of materials, not just planks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I have links, my other set pieces, and how to build them in the description below, the lighthouse and the skull cave. I have other sets planned in the future. And if you like to see them, then consider giving me a like, even a subscribe, so you don't miss out, and the support goes a long way. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this, and if you use it, what kind of story are you telling with your shipwreck? I would love to see it. Alright. Take good care, and I'll see you soon.
15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil had done for the rest. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. The mate was fixed by the boatswain's pike, the boatswain brained with a marlin spike, and Cookie's throat was marked below.